Imagine waking up on Thanksgiving, only to discover your whole family flew to a luxury vacation without even telling you. But what I did after that, they never expected it. Thanksgiving morning arrived colder than usual. I opened my eyes, expecting to hear noise in the house. My grandchildren laughing, my son talking loudly on the phone, my daughter-in-law rushing around the kitchen. But instead, there was nothing. No sounds, just heavy silence. A silence that didn't feel normal. I sat up slowly, confused. I listened again. Still nothing. I slid my feet into my slippers. The floor felt colder than usual. I wrapped my robe around myself. Something felt wrong, deeply wrong. I stepped out of my bedroom. The hallway was quiet, too quiet. I expected toys scattered around. I expected the usual mess, but the hallway was empty, completely empty. My heart tightened a little. I walked toward the living room. My steps echoed softly. When I reached the living room, I froze. The shoes that always sat near the door, gone. The kids' jackets, gone. Even the small backpack my grandson loved, gone. My breath became shallow. I moved to the couch. Cushions looked untouched. Nothing out of place. It didn't make sense. I hurried to the kitchen. The counter was clean. No breakfast dishes. No coffee mug. No note. Not even a small message. My eyes scanned the fridge. Groceries I bought yesterday were missing. Half of them gone. It felt like the house belonged to a stranger. Not me. Not my family. My hands trembled slightly. I picked up my phone. No messages from my son. No missed calls. Just silence. I unlocked the screen. A notification popped up from my neighbor. Hope your family enjoys Hawaii. Looked like a fun trip. I blinked. My stomach twisted. Hawaii? They went to Hawaii? Without me? I read the message again. My breathing stopped for a moment. I walked to the dining table slowly. Something was lying there. A printed paper. I picked it up. It was a hotel reservation. Hawaii. 4 guests. My son, his wife, my 2 grandchildren. The date was yesterday. They left the day before Thanksgiving, and they didn't say a word to me. My fingers tightened on the paper. My throat felt dry. I waited for tears, for anger, for some kind of reaction. But nothing happened. I just felt tired. Deeply tired. I placed the paper back on the table. I looked around the empty house. Every corner felt unfamiliar now. Like I didn't belong there anymore. Like I was just extra. Forgotten. My hands slowly relaxed. I straightened my back. A strange calm washed over me. Not sadness, not rage, just clarity. I walked to the phone, dialed a number. A voice answered. Golden Movers, how can we help? I said, I need to move out today. The silence returned after I ended the call, but this time, it didn't hurt. I walked to my bedroom, took out my suitcase, opened the closet, folded my clothes slowly, neatly, carefully. Not a single tear fell, because I realized something. I had been giving and receiving nothing in return. Not gratitude, not respect, not even a simple invitation. They had made their choice. Now it was time for me to make mine. I packed my books, my photo albums, my jewelry, my personal things, one by one. I didn't rush. The house felt different now. Less like a home, more like a shell. A place filled with memories that didn't matter anymore. I walked past the kids' empty room. I paused. The bed was neatly made. The toys were missing. The shelves looked deserted. A small drawing pinned to the wall caught my eye. A stick figure family. 4 people, not 5. They hadn't drawn me. Even the children didn't see me as part of their family. My chest tightened, but still, no tears. I gently removed the drawing, folded it, placed it inside my suitcase. Not because I wanted to keep it, but because it reminded me of the truth. I walked back to the living room. The morning sun was brighter now. Rays filled the room. The light felt warmer, like a quiet blessing. I sat on the couch, closed my eyes, took a long breath. For the first time in years, I felt free. I didn't owe anyone anything. Not anymore. The movers called. "We're on our way, ma'am." I nodded even though they couldn't see it. I stood up slowly. Looked around one last time. This house had witnessed everything. My sacrifices, my loneliness, my unspoken pain. But it would not witness my future. I opened the front door. The cold air brushed against my face. It felt refreshing. I stepped outside, closed the door behind me, and for the first time, I didn't feel guilty. I didn't feel abandoned. I didn't feel small. I felt strong, stronger than ever. The movers arrived. They smiled politely. "Where are we taking everything?" I smiled back. Somewhere peaceful. Somewhere far from disappointment. Somewhere I could finally breathe. They began loading the boxes. I watched quietly. Every item leaving the house felt like a weight lifting off me. A new beginning unfolding. A life I had never allowed myself to imagine. My phone buzzed. I ignored it. It buzzed again. And again. I didn't look. I didn't want to. Not yet. I was choosing myself for once. And it felt right. Very, very right. When the movers finished loading the last box, the house felt hollow behind me. I stood there for a moment, looking at the doorway I once called home. It no longer belonged to me. Or maybe I no longer belonged to it. My phone buzzed again. This time, I finally checked it. 18 missed calls, all from my son. My heart didn't jump, didn't panic, just stayed steady. A new calm had settled inside me. I opened one voicemail. His voice sounded frantic. "Mom, where are you? Why is the house empty?" I closed it before it finished. Another voicemail started playing automatically. "Mom, did something happen? Call me back." I deleted it. Then the next. And the next. Every message sounded more desperate, more panicked, more confused. But never once. Not even once. Did he say he was sorry? Not for leaving me? Not for excluding me? Not for flying his whole family to Hawaii? He wasn't worried about me. He was worried about losing the comfort I gave him. The free childcare, the cooking, the help, the convenience. Suddenly, everything made sense. I put the phone in my purse. I didn't call him back. I didn't text him. I didn't owe him that explanation. For once, I chose silence too. The movers shut the truck doors. "All set, ma'am. Ready when you are." I nodded gently. "Let's go." I climbed into my car. The air felt different, lighter, like a weight I carried for years finally vanished. As we drove away, I didn't look back, not even once. That life was behind me now, and I wasn't grieving it. I was relieved. The highway opened in front of me, a long stretch of freedom. I felt something warm in my chest. Peace. Pure, quiet peace. My phone buzzed again. I silenced it without checking. My future didn't depend on those calls. It never did. I passed a sign on the road. Ocean View Senior Community, 10 miles. A small smile formed on my lips. I'd already spoken to them last week. A quiet apartment. Friendly neighbors. Activities I never had time to enjoy. A place where I didn't have to serve anyone. A place where I could just live. I pulled into the entrance. The ocean breeze brushed against my face. The sound of waves filled the air. I breathed deeply. This was home now. Not a house filled with expectations, but a place filled with possibilities. I took one step forward, and for the first time in my life, I felt truly free.